Hello there. Take a slow, deep breath in for me, and as you exhale, just let out a soft sigh. Look around the quiet of your room, or simply let your eyes fall closed if they haven't already. It's just us now. The world outside your window has quieted down. The rush of the traffic, the endless pinging of emails, the demands of the day, they've all faded into the background. We are stepping into the sacred hours, that quiet space between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., where the world stops asking things of you. Right now, in this very moment, there is absolutely nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing you need to figure out. There is no problem you need to solve. I want you to make a promise to yourself. For the next little while, you do not need to learn anything here. You don't need to memorize my words, and you certainly don't need to take mental notes. Just let my voice drift over you like the gentle breeze, or like the rhythm of a dream that you are already half remembering. If your mind wanders, let it wander. If you fall asleep halfway through, that is exactly what is supposed to happen. Let's begin by noticing your physical body, the vessel that has carried you through this long day. Bring your attention to your jaw. You might not even realize it, but you've likely been clenching it for hours. So, just for tonight, unclench your teeth. Let your jaw drop, soft and heavy. Feel that wave of relief wash over your face. Now, move your focus down to your shoulders. They have been held so high, bracing against the weight of the world, bracing against the stress of expectations. Give them permission to drop. Let them melt down into the mattress. Feel the back of your head sinking deeper, fully supported by the softness of your pillow. Feel the heavy, comforting weight of your blanket covering you, wrapping you in a cocoon of absolute safety. This room, this bed. This is the safest place in the world right now. No one can reach you here. No one can demand your energy. You must be so incredibly tired. And I don't just mean physically tired from working or commuting. I mean that deep spiritual exhaustion, the exhaustion of the soul. Have you ever noticed how the harder you chase something, the further it seems to slip away? Perhaps today you are carrying that heavy weight, the energy of wanting, of waiting, of wondering why the things you desire most seem to dance just beyond your reach. All day long you have been wearing a mask. In psychology, Carl Jung called this the persona. It is the face we present to the world. It's the smile you force when you don't feel like smiling. It's the polite nod you give when someone is speaking, even though your mind is racing. It's the armor you put on every single morning to look strong, to look capable, to prove to everyone, and maybe to yourself, that you have it all together. You play the role of the good worker, the supportive friend, the strong partner. You smile, stay calm, and try to appear okay. But wearing that heavy armor all day takes so much out of you. It drains your vital energy to constantly assert that you are fine, while quietly running after things, trying to control outcomes, and managing everyone's perception of you. It is a monumental task. Tonight, I want to tell you something very important. You can take the armor off. You don't need the persona here in the dark. The shadows of this room do not judge you. The mattress beneath you does not require you to be perfect. It only requires you to rest. Imagine reaching up and gently unhooking that mask, letting it fall away. Feel the cool air on your true face. Breathe in, breathe out. You are safe to be entirely imperfect right now. You are safe to be exhausted. You are safe to be exhausted. This darkness surrounding you is not something to fear. It is a velvet blanket, a sanctuary designed exclusively for your healing. As your body sinks deeper and deeper into the bed, let your breathing become a slow, rhythmic ocean wave, pulling in peace, releasing the day. You are unhooking yourself from the demands of the world. You are unhooking yourself from the need to please, the need to perform, the need to chase. Just rest. Let the heavy, beautiful quiet of the midnight hours hold you. You're exactly where you were meant to be. And you are so profoundly safe as you lie here, sinking deeper and deeper into the soft, welcoming embrace of your bed, feeling the cool, familiar texture of the sheets against your skin. I want you to simply notice the quiet rhythm of your own heart. It beats steadily, endlessly, without you ever having to ask it to. It knows exactly what to do. You see, your physical body inherently knows how to rest, just as your deeper mind, your soul, inherently knows how to heal. But perhaps lately, you have been carrying a strange, heavy kind of disorientation. A lingering feeling that the solid ground beneath your feet is shifting, turning into soft sand. The things that used to work for you, the endless striving, the careful planning, the constant pushing forward to the next goal, suddenly feel like trying to run through waist-deep water. You might feel completely lost right now. You might feel like you don't quite know who you are anymore, what you're supposed to be doing, or where you are going. You might be looking at your life and wondering why the old rules no longer apply. Carl Jung, the great explorer of the human psyche, had a profoundly beautiful name for this exact, terrifying, and necessary experience. He called it the night sea journey. In ancient myths and timeless stories, the night sea journey is the moment the hero is swallowed by the great whale, or the moment the radiant sun dips below the horizon, plunging into the dark, uncharted, and mysterious waters of the deep ocean. It is a period of profound ascent. It is the winter of the soul. When you're in the middle of a night sea journey, everything around you feels dark. The familiar stars you used to navigate your life by are suddenly hidden behind thick, immovable clouds. The detailed maps you drew for your future no longer make any sense. When this happens, the natural instinct of the ego, that protective part of you that desperately wants to control, to plan, to possess, and to prove its worth, is to panic. The ego hates the dark. The ego wants to grab the oars and row frantically in any direction, just to feel like it is doing something, anything to escape the unknown. It wants to fight the current. But what if, tonight, you simply stop rowing? What if the profound disorientation you are feeling is not a punishment? What if it is not a mistake, a failure, or a sign that you have done something wrong? What if it is simply the old self, the tired, heavily armored, exhausted version of you, beginning to gently, finally, fall away, to be reborn into something truer, something vastly more authentic? The old self must first dissolve. This is the painful but beautiful process of dying to the old self, the version of you that believed it had to constantly chase love, the version that pursued success out of a secret fear of unworthiness, the version that begged the world for validation just to feel okay. That version is completely exhausted. It cannot carry you even one step further. And truly, this is a magnificent thing. The deep unconscious is gently, systematically stripping away everything that is not authentically you. For so long, without even realizing it, you may have lived in a vibration born of lack. You were emitting a silent, anxious signal to the universe that said, I do not have. I'm afraid I am not enough. And the harder you tried to fix that feeling from the outside, the more elusive peace became. You tried to think your way out of a feeling, but now in the vast, quiet stillness of this night sea journey, you are being asked to do the absolute bravest thing a human being can do. You are being asked to do nothing. You are being asked to surrender. Imagine yourself right now, lying in the bottom of a small, sturdy, beautifully crafted wooden boat. You are drifting on a calm, ink-black, moonlit sea. The water beneath you is deep and supportive. You don't have the oars. You don't have a compass. You have no map. And for the very first time in your entire life, you realize with a deep sigh of relief that you don't need them. The water is holding you. The gentle current knows exactly the way. You are not adrift because you are lost. You are adrift because you are finally, truly being guided. Let the comforting darkness of this room become that vast, peaceful ocean. Every single time you exhale, feel your physical body sinking a little deeper into the safety of that wooden boat, surrendering a little more of that old, exhausting need to control the outcome. Let the old fears dissolve into the dark water around you. Let the desperate need to be seen, to be understood, to be perfect, wash away with the gentle lapping of the waves against the wood. If this journey resonates with the quietest parts of your soul, if you are truly ready to let go of the oars and trust this dark, healing water, I invite you to silently whisper the word release in your mind right now. Or, if you wish, leave that word release with us here in the space below this journey as a quiet, physical mark of your surrender. Subscribe to the stillness and walk this path with us, returning to the safe harbor whenever the night feels too heavy to carry alone. Just let go. The old self is washing away into the midnight sea, and what remains is pure, untouchable, and deeply at peace. You are so safe. Drift now further and further out into the beautiful, quiet dark as you continue to drift on this quiet, midnight sea, held safely by the sturdy wood of your little boat. I want you to simply notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest. With every breath in, the boat rises slightly on a smooth, dark wave. And with every breath out, the boat settles back down into the trough of the water, up and down, in and out. You are completely synchronized with the rhythm of this peaceful ocean. The heavy, velvety darkness of the room around you is a blanket, keeping you entirely safe, entirely hidden from the demands of the waking world. While you are resting here so safely, let us gently look at the weight you brought into this bed with you tonight. I know there is an ache. I know there is a quiet, persistent pain that has been sitting heavy in your chest, or looping endlessly in your mind. Perhaps it is a feeling of being profoundly stuck. Perhaps it is an obsession with a certain outcome, a desperate wish for a specific person to understand you, or a constant waiting for a message that never seems to arrive. You might be replaying past conversations, wondering what you did wrong, or projecting your mind far into the future, trying to control scenarios that haven't even happened yet. You've been carrying this pain, this frustration, this deep sense of lack for so long, and it is exhausting. It takes a monumental amount of vital energy to constantly manage this internal tension. You might have been telling yourself that this pain means you are broken. You might think it is a sign that you have failed, that you are not lovable enough, not successful enough, or simply not doing life correctly. But tonight, in the safety of the dark, I want to offer you a completely different way to look at this ache. Carl Jung did not view our psychological pain, our repeating loops, or our deep frustrations as flaws. He did not see them as punishments from a cruel universe. He saw them as something incredibly profound and deeply necessary. He saw them as messengers. When you find yourself attracting the same indifferent people, the same missed opportunities, or the same relationships that mirror your own self-doubt, this is not a curse. When someone's withdrawal triggers a massive wave of anxiety inside you, that intense pain is actually a messenger from your deep unconscious. The universe, as Jung pointed out, does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. And right now, the pain you are feeling is simply life holding up a very honest, very quiet mirror to an unhealed wound within you. Think about the times you have tried so hard to force a connection, sending a message just to check in, waiting by your phone, trying to manipulate reality to feel safe. That action wasn't born of love. It was born of a vibration of lack. You were unconsciously emitting a signal that said, I am not enough on my own. I need you to confirm my worth. And people unconsciously sense that heavy energy. They feel the demand to fill your emptiness, and they pull away. They don't pull away to hurt you. They pull away because your unintegrated shadow is asking them to carry a burden only you can heal. Your pain is not your enemy. The obsession, the feeling of being stuck, the repeating cycles of disappointment. They are simply the voice of your own soul, gently but firmly knocking on the door of your awareness. The unconscious speaks through these outcomes, through the times you get very close and then pull back, through the different relationships that carry the exact same feeling of abandonment or insufficiency. This messenger has traveled from the very depths of your being, swimming through the dark waters to reach the surface of your mind, just to hand you a letter. And the letter simply says, look here, there is a part of you that still believes it is unworthy. Let us heal this. You do not need to fight the messenger anymore. You do not need to hate the part of you that feels needy, anxious, or afraid. In fact, fighting it only makes it stronger. The more you suppress it, the more it manipulates the energy you emit. Tonight, you have permission to just let the messenger sit beside you in the boat. You don't have to fix the pain right now. You don't have to fix the pain right now. You don't have to figure out a 10-step plan to heal your inner child before morning. All you have to do is acknowledge it. Breathe into that tight space in your chest. Breathe into the anxiety. Say to it silently in your mind, I see you. I hear you. You are allowed to be here, but you do not steer the boat anymore. Notice how the moment you stop fighting the pain, it begins to soften. The sharp edges of the obsession start to melt away. When you stop resisting the current, you suddenly realize the water is holding you up. You are not drowning. You are floating. You are returning to the center of yourself, where no part needs to be hidden, and where you no longer need to send out a begging signal to the world. As you lie here feeling the cool air in the room and the heavy, comforting warmth of your blankets, let this profound realization wash over you. You are already whole. The pain is just a temporary cloud passing across the bright, eternal moon of your true self. If you are ready to welcome this messenger without fear, to stop fighting the current and simply float in this healing truth, I invite you to whisper the word receive in your mind. Let that word anchor you to this safe space. If you find peace in these midnight journeys, consider leaving the word receive with us below and subscribe to this channel as a quiet promise to yourself, a promise that you will continue to meet your shadow with compassion, not judgment. Now, just breathe. Up and down with the waves, in and out. The pain is losing its grip, the messenger is resting, and you are sinking deeper, deeper, deeper into the most beautiful, healing sleep. As you float here, side by side with the messenger you are just welcomed, I want you to feel the incredible lightness that washes over you when you simply stop fighting. The water around your little wooden boat is so incredibly calm. The night air brushing against your forehead is cool and soothing. Let your shoulders drop just another inch. Let your hands, resting gently by your sides, become completely open and empty. Up and down, in and out. You are doing perfectly. We live in a world that is completely obsessed with effort. From the time we're very small, we are handed a heavy, exhausting script. The script says, work harder, be better, fix your flaws, achieve more, and then, maybe then, you will finally be worthy of love, of success, of peace. You have been running on this endless treadmill for years. You have been trying so incredibly hard, trying to be the perfect partner, the ideal employee, the friend who always has it together. Even in your healing journey, you might be trying too hard reading all the right books, meditating with gritted teeth, constantly analyzing yourself, desperately attempting to fix every broken piece so you can finally be happy. Carl Jung drew a very clear, very beautiful distinction between the ego and the soul. The ego is the part of you that wants to control, to plan, to possess, and to constantly prove its worth. When you act from the ego, you always feel compelled to do something, to be chosen, to be kept, to avoid loss. The ego convinces you that if you just try a little harder, if you just control the variables a little better, if you just say the exact right thing, you will finally feel safe. But control is not strength. It is merely a survival reflex of an unhealed ego. It is a contraction of consciousness, fear wrapped tightly in a reasonable explanation. But the soul, the soul is entirely different. The soul, on the other hand, is the part of you that needs no reason to be present. The soul does not need you to strive to please others, and only needs you to have the courage to live in alignment with your inner truth. Think about that for a moment, in the quiet of this room. Your soul does not care about your resume. It does not care how many messages you receive today. It does not care if you have entirely fixed yourself. It does not require you to be perfect. Imagine right now that you're holding a heavy, thick, tightly wound rope in your hands. You have been pulling on this rope with all your might for as long as you can remember. You're leaning back. Your muscles are trembling. Your hands are blistered and tired. You believe, with every fiber of your being, that if you let go of this rope, everything will fall apart. Your relationships will fail. Your career will stall. Your entire life will unravel. But what if I told you there is actually nothing on the other end of that rope? What if you are just playing a desperate game of tug-of-war with a ghost? Tonight, I am giving you the permission to just drop the rope. Let it slip through your tired fingers. Notice how much vital energy rushes back into your physical body the exact second you stop trying to control everything. When you live from the soul, you no longer need to pursue because you recognize I am myself. You do not attract the things you want in this life by forcing them. You attract by what you are. And when you are constantly striving, constantly trying to force outcomes, you are vibrating with the energy of lack. You are silently telling the universe, I lack, I need, I am not enough without that. But when you stop seeking, stop controlling, and stop asserting that you are lacking, do you return to the center where you no longer need to attract but begin to shine? You don't have to earn your breath. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to earn your place in this vast, beautiful universe. You are allowed to just be. If you are truly ready to drop the heavy rope of trying, if you are ready to let the exhausted ego rest and let the soul finally breathe, simply whisper the word, enough, into the quiet darkness of your room. Let it be a gentle, final declaration. You are enough. If you wish, leave the word enough with us here in the space below as a quiet physical testament to your surrender, and subscribe to keep walking this peaceful path with us. Now, sink even deeper into the mattress. The water's holding your boat. The night is keeping you completely safe. There is nothing left to try. There is nothing left to do. You are enough. Just rest. As you rest here, completely untethered from the heavy rope of trying, notice the vast, beautiful sky above your little wooden boat. The sky is a canvas of the deepest, softest indigo, scattered with a million quiet stars, and right above you, a full, luminous silver moon casts a long, shimmering path of light across the surface of the dark water. Look at that water for a moment in your mind's eye. The water is deep and it is entirely black. But here is a beautiful truth about nature. The moon can only reflect so brilliantly, so perfectly, because the water beneath it is dark. Without the deep, quiet darkness of the ocean, the light would have no mirror. In the natural world, light and dark do not fight each other. They dance together. They rely on each other to create the breathtaking beauty of the midnight sea. Just like the ancient trees in a vast, silent forest, reaching their thick, leafy branches high up toward the sunlight. To grow that tall, to weather the fierce storms and the changing seasons, a tree must first send its roots deep, deep down into the cold, dark, unseen earth. The tree does not apologize for its roots being hidden in the dirt. It knows that the darkness of the soil is exactly what gives it strength, nourishment, and unshakable stability. But in our human lives, we are so often taught to fear our own dark soil. We are taught to only show the world our branches, our light, our blooming flowers. We spend decades curating an image of goodness, politeness, and endless capability. Carl Jung gave a name to the roots we hide away. He called it the shadow. The shadow is not a monster. It is not evil by nature. It is simply the collection of everything within you that you were told was unacceptable. The parts of your psyche you pushed out of the image you want to believe about yourself. It is the anger you swallowed because you wanted to be seen as agreeable. It is the deep, profound exhaustion you hid because you needed to appear effortlessly strong. It is the boundary you never set because you were terrified of being called selfish. It is the quiet, secret jealousy that simply wanted to tell you what your soul actually desires but didn't know how to express. You have spent so much of your precious, vital energy guarding the heavy wooden door to the basement of your mind, terrified that if anyone saw your shadow, you would lose their love. Think of a woman named Sarah. For her entire life, Sarah was the ultimate peacemaker. She was the one who always said yes to every request, the one who stayed late at work to cover for others, the one who smoothed over every family conflict with a gentle smile and a quiet nod. She believed her worth came entirely from her absolute selflessness. But underneath that bright, polished surface, Sarah was carrying a heavy, unacknowledged shadow. Her shadow held a deep, unvoiced resentment. It held a desperate, screaming need for a break. Because she refused to look at her shadow, because she kept pushing it down into the dark, it didn't disappear. Instead, it began to leak out in uncontrollable ways. She found herself constantly, inexplicably exhausted. She developed physical aches. She would feel sudden, intense flashes of irritation at the very people she was trying to help, followed by massive waves of crushing guilt. She thought she was failing as a good person. But she wasn't failing. Her shadow was just trying to save her life. Her shadow was carrying the vital energy of her boundaries, the raw, protective power of her own self-respect, which she had banished into the dark. It wasn't until Sarah finally sat down in the quiet of her own room, just like you were doing tonight, and bravely looked at her resentment without judging it, that her life transformed. She didn't become a cruel or selfish person. She simply became whole. She integrated her shadow into her total personality. She learned to say no with a soft voice and a steady heart, and in doing so, her genuine smile finally returned, reaching all the way to her eyes. Right now, in the absolute safety of this little boat, wrapped in the velvety night, you do not need to hide your roots anymore. The dark water beneath you holds no judgment. The stars above do not ask you to be perfect. I want you to gently, bravely invite the hidden parts of yourself to come out of the basement. Invite the part of you that is angry. Invite the part of you that feels jealous, or petty, or profoundly tired. Invite the part of you that just wants to walk away from everyone's expectations. Let them come sit in the boat with you. Look at them with the same gentle, unwavering compassion that the moon shines upon the dark water. They are not here to destroy you. They are simply exhausted orphans of your own soul, waiting for you to welcome them home. When you stop fighting your shadow, when you stop trying to amputate the parts of yourself that feel messy or unacceptable, a massive wave of life force rushes back into your physical body. You realize that you do not need to be perfect to be worthy of love. You all need to be whole. The self is not only the center, but the totality, embracing both the light and the darkness within you. Feel the immense relief of that wholeness spreading through your chest right now. Feel it melting the tight knot in your stomach. Feel it traveling down your arms right to your fingertips, and down your legs to your toes, up and down, in and out. You are safe in your entirety. Your light is beautiful and your darkness is sacred. Both are needed to make you exactly who you truly are. If you are willing to welcome all of who you are tonight, to stop hiding and start healing, simply whisper the word whole into the quiet space around you. Let it be a gentle lullaby for your weary soul. If you feel cold, leave the word whole with us in the space below, as a physical anchor for your journey back to yourself, and subscribe to keep walking this peaceful path with us. Let the water rock you. Let your shadows find comfort in the dark. Sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the most restorative rest as you lie here, floating with the gentle rhythmic sway of your little wooden boat, surrounded by the integrated parts of your own soul. You might notice that the environment around you is changing. The dark, vast water beneath you is becoming impossibly smooth. The gentle ripples are settling. The midnight air is completely still. The water has become a perfect, unbroken mirror of black glass, reflecting the millions of stars above. There is no wind to push you. There is no current forcing you to move. Everything has fallen into a state of absolute, breathtaking stillness. Listen to the quiet of your room right now. Notice how the silence feels physical, like a heavy, warm blanket settling softly over your chest, up and down, in and out. In the waking world, the ego is absolutely terrified of silence. From the moment you wake up, you are conditioned to fill every empty space. You fill the quiet with music, with podcasts, with scrolling through screens. In your relationships, you fill the silence with words, with over-explaining, with sending that extra text message just to make sure the other person is still there. Think about how your body feels when you send a message to someone you care about, and the hours tick by with no response. The silence stretches out, and the ego begins to panic. It creates wild stories. It tells you that you are being abandoned, that you did something wrong, that you are losing your grip on the connection. The ego believes that if you are not actively doing something, if you are not reaching out, managing, or checking in, the love will simply vanish. But Carl Jung understood a profound truth about human energy. When you cannot tolerate the silence, it is not love that is driving you. It is a vibration of lack. It is a deep, unhealed wound taking the wheel of your life. When you frantically try to fill the quiet, your energy field emits a loud, desperate signal that says, "I am not safe on my own. I need you to confirm that I exist." And this frantic energy, this inability to rest in the unknown, is exactly what pushes the things you desire furthest away. I want to tell you about a man named Mark. For years, Mark was a classic fixer and a chronic overthinker. Whenever a gap of silence opened up between him and his partner, or even his friends, his nervous system would immediately go on high alert. If his partner seemed quiet or distant, Mark would immediately swoop in. He would ask endless questions, offer solutions, or send long paragraphs of text trying to bridge the gap. On the surface, he looked like the most caring, attentive partner in the world. But underneath, his energy was incredibly heavy. He wasn't giving love. He was demanding reassurance. He was using his words and his actions to control the environment, so he wouldn't have to feel the terrifying silence of his own inner abandonment. And the result was always the same. People felt smothered by his energy. They felt the invisible weight of his anxiety, and they unconsciously withdrew. One day, exhausted and heartbroken from repeating the same cycle, Mark made a decision to practice what Jungian psychology calls vibrational detachment. He didn't become cold. He didn't stop caring. He simply committed to a practice of radical stillness. The next time he felt the overwhelming urge to text, to fix, to fill the silence, he did nothing. For the first 3 minutes of panic, he just sat there. He felt the physical discomfort of the anxiety burning in his chest, and he just breathed through it. He allowed the silence to exist without trying to manage it, and a miracle happened. By not reacting, by refusing to operate from a vibration of lack, Mark stopped chasing. He returned to his center, and from that deeply grounded, still place, his energy changed completely. He became magnetic. People who had pulled away suddenly began to lean in, not because he was pulling them, but because his quiet, unbothered presence had become an irresistible resting place. True presence is a holistic being that does not arise from doing, but from an inner state of grounded calm that demands nothing from the world. It is the energy that does not chase, does not defend, and does not seek affirmation. It simply is. Tonight, in this beautiful, dark sanctuary, you do not need to chase anything. You do not need to figure out what anyone else is thinking. You do not need to construct a plan to secure your future. Just let your physical body practice this radical stillness. Let your hands remain empty. Let your jaw remain slack. Feel the incredible magnetic power of just being here, breathing in and breathing out. When you stop chasing, you stop emitting the signal of fear. And when you stop emitting fear, you become a field of fullness where everything that truly belongs to you can finally find you. If you're ready to let go of the frantic need to fill the quiet, if you're ready to trust the power of your own stillness, simply whisper the word presence in the darkness of your room. Let the sound of it dissolve into the quiet. If you wish to anchor this commitment, leave the word presence with us in the space below and subscribe to continue this journey of returning to your magnetic center. Just breathe. The water is perfectly still. The stars are shining. The silence is not empty. It is full of your undeniable power. Rest now, deep and completely undisturbed, as you rest in this perfect, unbroken silence, floating effortlessly on the dark, mirror-like surface of the midnight sea. I want you to notice how perfectly the water reflects the sky above. Every single star, the glowing silver moon, the deep indigo clouds, they are all painted onto the surface of the water with absolute clarity. The ocean has become a flawless mirror. If you were to gently lean over the side of your sturdy wooden boat right now and look down into that smooth black glass, you would not just see the stars. You would see your own face looking back at you, up and down, in and out. Breathe into that image for a moment. In our waking lives, we rarely realize that the world around us is acting as this exact same kind of mirror. We walk through our days completely convinced that we are simply reacting to the people and situations outside of us. We believe that if someone is distant, it means they are rejecting us. We believe that if someone criticizes us, it means we are flawed. We give so much of our precious, vital power away to the external world, trying desperately to arrange the people in our lives so that they will reflect back a good image of us. But Carl Jung understood a profound and deeply liberating secret about how the human mind works. He called this phenomenon projection, describing it as the process in which the unconscious mind casts unintegrated parts of ourselves onto the outside world. He wrote that projections change the world into a replica of one's unknown face. The world, so often, does not reflect reality but mirrors the unseen wounds within us. Think about how exhausting it is to live this way, when you believe that your worth, your safety, and your peace are resting in the hands of someone else's behavior. You are constantly on edge. You analyze their tone of voice, the length of time it takes them to reply to a message, the way they looked away when you were speaking. You are constantly trying to read a script that you didn't even write. Let me tell you about a woman named Elena. Elena was in a relationship with a kind, but naturally quiet man. Whenever he became silent, Elena's internal world would absolutely shatter. She would analyze every punctuation, every pause, and every word choice. She was convinced that his silence meant he was angry with her, or that he was losing interest, or that she had done something terribly wrong. She would twist herself into knots trying to be more cheerful, more accommodating, and more perfect, just to get him to smile and validate her. But one day, in a moment of profound exhaustion, Elena realized something heartbreakingly beautiful. Her partner was just being quiet. He was just tired from his day. The intense fear of abandonment, the harsh judgment, the belief that she was not enough, that was not coming from him. He was simply a blank screen. Elena was projecting her own deep, unhealed insecurities onto him. She was seeing her own unknown face, her own shadow reflected in the mirror of his silence. The moment Elena realized this, she did something incredibly powerful. She withdrew her projection. She imagined reaching out and gently taking that heavy energy off of his shoulders and bringing it back into her own heart. She stopped asking him to prove that she was lovable, and she finally started doing the quiet, sacred work of loving herself. Tonight, in the deep safety of this midnight sanctuary, I want you to give yourself the permission to withdraw your projections. Think about the person or the situation that has been causing you the most anxiety lately, the person you are waiting for, the outcome you are trying to force. Notice how heavy it feels to make them responsible for your inner emotional weather. Now, imagine reaching out your hands and gently taking that energy back. Pull it back into your own chest. You do not need them to act a certain way for you to be safe. You do not need them to validate you for you to be worthy. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But right now, you do not need to react. You only need to return to yourself. Feel the massive wave of relief that washes over your physical body when you realize you are only responsible for you. Your jaw softens. Your shoulders melt into the mattress. Your breathing becomes deeper, slower, and completely untroubled. You are taking your power back from the outside world and planting it firmly back in your own soul. You are safe here. You are completely whole here. If you're ready to stop looking for your reflection in the unpredictable waves of the outside world, if you're ready to bring your energy home to your own heart, simply whisper the word, return, into the quiet darkness. Let it be a soft command to your soul. Leave the word return in the space below as a physical anchor for your newfound peace, and subscribe to keep walking this liberating path with us. Now, sink deeper. The mirror of the water is holding you. The stars are watching over you. Return to yourself and sleep. As you lie here, perfectly cradled in your small, sturdy wooden boat, having drawn your precious energy back into your own heart, I want you to notice how the physical weight of your body seems to have completely changed. Without the exhausting burden of managing everyone else's reflections, you feel incredibly light. The dark, glassy water beneath you is still holding you, rising and falling with the gentle, rhythmic beating of your own chest, up and down, in and out. The cool midnight air wraps around your shoulders like a soft, protective shawl. There is a quiet miracle that happens when you stop projecting your needs onto the outside world. When you are no longer frantically scanning the horizon for someone to come and save you, you finally have the quiet space to look inward. And when you look inward, you encounter the deepest, most foundational layer of your being. Carl Jung taught us that beneath the anxious, chattering ego, there is a core of absolute, unshakable wholeness. It is the soul. And unlike the ego, which is always trying to prove its worth, the soul needs absolutely no reason to be present. For so much of your life, you may have been unconsciously operating from a vibration born of lack. You were taught that your worth was something you had to earn. You believed you had to be smart enough, successful enough, or accommodating enough to be granted permission to take up space in this world. And when you live from that place of inner scarcity, your energy field emits a silent, powerful signal that says, I lack, I need, I am not enough without that. You try to smile, you try to stay calm, but your energy field is always more honest than your words. I want to share the story of a woman named Carla. Carla was fiercely intelligent, independent, and highly self-aware. After a deeply painful breakup, she embarked on what looked like the perfect healing journey. She read the psychology books, she meditated daily, she journaled. She took care of her physical body, and she works tirelessly to rebuild her self-esteem. On the outside, Carla appeared to be the absolute ideal of someone who had overcome her past. But there was a quiet, repeating pattern she couldn't escape. Every time she began a new connection, even a gentle and promising one, the other person would gradually become distant, and the relationship would break without any clear reason. Carla was doing everything right, so why did this keep happening? The breakthrough came not from her intellect, but from a moment of profound awakening during therapy. Her therapist looked gently into her eyes and said, "Your energy is not waiting for love. It is begging for confirmation." That single sentence struck the very core of Carla's soul. She realized that all her positive healing actions were still being guided by a begging energy. She had only done everything to prove that she was worthy of love. She was not truly loving the people she met. She was living in the unconscious expectation that someone would finally come to heal her, to confirm that she was enough. She was not loving. She was waiting to be rescued. Carla had to face a dark, hidden truth. Disguised beneath her self-improvement was a form of control, a condition that whispered, "I will love myself as long as someone confirms that I am lovable." But as Jung pointed out, energy does not operate under conditions. You do not attract by what you wish for. You attract by what you are. When you demand confirmation, you emit a vibration of lack, and the universe reflects that exact emptiness back to you. When Carla stopped seeking that external confirmation, she stopped sending the begging signal. She stepped out of the frequency of choose me and finally chose herself. And from that moment of quiet, internal fullness, all she had ever sought began to find her. Imagine, right now, looking over the edge of your wooden boat, deep down into the miles of dark, silent water, far beneath the surface, resting quietly on the ocean floor, hidden inside a rough, unassuming shell, is a perfectly formed, luminous pearl. Down there in the absolute dark, no one is looking at the pearl. The fish, swimming miles above, do not know it exists. The waves crashing on the distant shore have no concept of its beauty, and yet, the pearl does not diminish. It does not anxiously vibrate, wondering if it is valuable. It does not try to open its shell to prove to the ocean that it is worthy of being there. It rests in its absolute innate perfection. Its worth is not granted by the eyes of a beholder. Its worth is its very nature. You are that pearl. In the quiet of this midnight sanctuary, you do not need anyone to confirm your value. You do not need to read another book, achieve another goal, or secure another relationship to be enough. Your worth is a birthright, woven into the very fabric of your soul. It is not something you acquire, it is something you remember. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, and you cannot be who you truly are if you are constantly begging the world for permission to exist. Feel a heavy, exhausted need for validation draining out of your physical body right now? Let it wash away into the dark, soothing water. Feel the solid, unbreakable core of your own inherent worth, blowing softly in your chest, just like that pearl at the bottom of the sea. You are enough. You have always been enough. If you are ready to stop begging the world for your own worth, if you are ready to rest in the unshakable truth of your innate value, gently whisper the word worthy into the quiet air of your room. Let the sound of it wrap around you like a protective embrace if you wish to anchor this realization. Leave the word worthy in the space below and subscribe to continue this deeply restorative journey back to your truest self. Now let the water rock you. Let the pearl rest in the dark. Sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the most absolute, peaceful sleep. As you rest here, glowing with the quiet, unshakable certainty of that precious pearl at the bottom of the sea, I want you to bring your awareness back to the little wooden boat you are lying in. You dropped the heavy rope of trying a long time ago. You set down the heavy wooden oars. You completely surrendered the need to control. You are no longer fighting the water. And yet, if you pay very close attention to the gentle sway of the boat, you will notice something truly miraculous. Even without your effort, even without your anxious planning or your frantic rowing, you are moving. Beneath the glassy, perfectly still surface of this midnight ocean, there is a deep, invisible current. It is entirely silent, but it is immensely powerful. Think of the great ancient oceanic rivers that silently guide the giant whales and the migrating sea turtles across thousands of miles of trackless water. These magnificent creatures do not have maps. They do not have anxiety about their destination. They do not panic when the surface of the water gets rough. They simply align their physical bodies with the deep, invisible flow, and the current carries them exactly where they are meant to be. For someone to be alive, you had been trying to row your boat against the current. You thought that if you just pushed a little harder, if you just forced connection or manipulated a situation, you could reach your destination faster. But rowing against the deep current of your own soul only leaves you with blistered hands and an exhausted heart. When you finally stop trying to control every single detail of your life from the anxious, grasping place of the ego, you naturally drop into this deep, invisible flow. Carl Jung had a remarkably beautiful concept for the way this current reveals itself in our waking lives. He called it synchronicity. Synchronicity is the occurrence of meaningful coincidences. It is those breathtaking moments when the inner world of your thoughts, feelings, and surrendered energy suddenly aligns perfectly with the outer world of reality. It feels like magic. It feels like the universe is winking at you. But Jung knew it wasn't magic. It is simply the natural, undeniable rhythm of a universe responding to a soul that has finally stopped vibrating with lack and has returned to a state of wholeness. Let me tell you about a man named David. David was a master at forcing things in his career, in his relationships. If a door was closed, David would not just knock. He would bang on it until his knuckles bled. He believed that everything he wanted was just on the other side of that locked door, and if he didn't force it open, he would miss his chance at happiness. Because of this, his energy was always tense, always rushing, always projecting a desperate need for the world to yield to him. One autumn, David hit a wall. A relationship he had tried so hard to control slipped through his fingers, and a job opportunity he had chased for months was given to someone else. He was profoundly spiritually exhausted. For the first time in his life, David had no energy left to bang on doors. He gave up. But he didn't give up in a bitter way. He surrendered. One afternoon, instead of frantically updating his resume or sending anxious text messages, he left his phone on his kitchen counter and went for a long, quiet walk in the park. He sat on a wooden bench, feeling the cool air in his lungs, listening to the rustling leaves, and practicing the radical presence we spoke of earlier. He was just there. He wasn't demanding anything from the universe. He was just resting in his own company. And in that exact moment of absolute surrender, an old colleague he hadn't seen in 5 years happened to walk down that exact path. They sat, they talked, and out of that effortless, unforced conversation came an opportunity that was vastly better and infinitely more suited to David's true talents than the one he had just lost. David didn't row the boat to get there. The current brought it to him. When you emit a signal of lack, when your ego is frantically trying to control the outcome, you essentially put blinders on. You miss the subtle, beautiful signs the universe is dropping right at your feet. because you are too busy staring in terror at the door that just closed. But when you let go, when you return to your center and trust the flow, the signs begin to appear. The right message arrives at the exact right moment. The perfect opportunity opens up without resistance. The people who are truly meant for you walk into your life and they stay, not because you trapped them, but because your frequencies are perfectly, beautifully aligned. Tonight, in the heavy, velvet darkness of your room, you do not need to figure out where the current is taking you. You do not need to look for signs in the dark. You only need to let the mattress hold your heavy, tired body. Notice the rhythmic rise and fall of your chest, up and down, in and out. You are finally tuning your internal frequency to the gentle, effortless current of the deep ocean. What is meant for you will never miss you. It is already flowing toward you, carried by the quiet waters of synchronicity. If you are ready to set down the oars forever, if you are ready to let the invisible current of the universe carry you exactly where you need to go, simply whisper the word trust into the quiet air of your room. Let the vibration of that word settle deep into your chest. If you wish to anchor this new alignment, leave the word trust with us in the space below and subscribe to keep drifting on this peaceful current with us. Now, just breathe. The water is perfectly calm. The current is strong and safe. Let go completely. Sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the quiet, trusting dark as you continue to drift on this powerful, invisible current, feeling the absolute safety of the water beneath your little wooden boat. You realize the ocean is gently guiding you toward a quiet, sheltered cove. The water here is perfectly shallow and warm, glowing with a soft, silver reflection of the moon. The boat bumps softly against the shore of pure white sand. You don't need the oars, you just let the boat rest. Listen to the quiet of this new space. Up and down, in and out. In this absolute stillness, when the loud, frantic voice of the ego has finally been silenced, you might begin to hear something else. It is not a scary sound. It is a very faint, very familiar echo. It sounds like a small voice, calling out from a long time ago. Carl Jung knew that so much of our profound exhaustion, our need to control, and the vibrations born of lack are ultimately vibrations of fear, of abandonment, of unhealed memories, of an inner child still waiting for someone to come and say, "You are worthy. You are enough." For decades, you have been trying to get the outside world, your partners, your bosses, your friends, to speak those words to you. You wanted them to heal the ache, but no one can bring that from the outside if you have not first sent that signal from within yourself. Imagine a tiny, fragile seed that was buried deep into frozen earth during a very long, very harsh winter. For months, the seed stayed contracted, tight and afraid, hiding from the bitter wind, waiting for the sun to finally arrive and make it safe enough to bloom. Your inner child has been exactly like that little seed, buried under years of adult responsibilities, under the heavy armor of your persona, under the frantic rowing of your daily life, waiting for someone to finally provide the warmth of absolute, unconditional safety. Let me tell you about a man named James. James was a brilliant, highly respected architect. He built magnificent structures and won countless awards. But internally, James was completely incapable of resting. If a project was delayed, or if a client offered even the mildest critique, James would spiral into a dark, suffocating panic. He would work through the night, obsessively redrawing plans, terrified that his entire career was going to fall apart. From the outside, it looked like extreme dedication. But in the quiet space of his therapy sessions, the truth emerged. James wasn't building to create, he was building to survive. Inside that highly successful adult man was a terrified 7-year-old boy who had only ever received attention and affection when he brought home perfect grades. That little boy was still running the show, desperately trying to build a flawless world so he wouldn't be abandoned or overlooked. When James finally realized this, he didn't criticize the boy. He didn't tell him to grow up or stop being so sensitive. In his mind's eye, James walked up to that exhausted, frightened 7-year-old, knelt down to his eye level, and did the one thing no one else had ever done. He put his hand on the boy's shoulder and said, "You don't have to build anything today. You are safe with me, just exactly as you are. The months he did that, a lifetime of crushing pressure evaporated. James stopped working from a vibration of lack and began working from a place of joy and true presence. Tonight, in this beautiful sheltered cove, you have the opportunity to do exactly the same. In your mind's eye, imagine stepping out of your wooden boat onto the soft, warm sand. The night air is so incredibly gentle against your skin. A few steps ahead of you, sitting near the water's edge, is a smaller version of you. It is your inner child. Look at how tired they are. Look at how long they've been waiting, carrying the heavy burden of your anxiety, trying so hard to protect you by attempting to control everything and everyone around you. Walk up to them slowly. They are not afraid of you. Kneel down on the soft sand so you are right at their eye level. Look deeply into their eyes. They have been waiting for someone to come and rescue them, waiting for the world to finally make them feel secure. But the rescue they have been waiting for is you. The adult you. The wise, grounded, compassionate you that is here right now. Imagine wrapping your arms around this small, precious child. Feel their little head resting against your chest. Feel how their tiny body relaxes the exact second they realize you are finally here. Whisper to them in the quiet of your mind, I am here. I see you. I am so sorry I made you wait so long. You do not have to carry the heavy rope anymore. You do not have to be perfect for us to be loved. You are worthy. You are enough. And I will never, ever abandon you again. Feel the profound, miraculous shift in your physical body as you make this promise. A deep, fragmented part of your soul is clicking back into place. The vibration of lack is dissolving into the warm night air. You are becoming whole. You are becoming your own completely safe harbor. You no longer need to constantly scan the horizon for a rescuer, because you have arrived. If you are ready to welcome this little one home, if you are ready to be the safety you have been searching for your entire life, simply whisper the word safe into the quiet darkness of your room. Let the vibration of that word heal the oldest, most tender parts of your heart. If you wish to mark this sacred reunion, leave the word safe with us in the space below, and subscribe to keep walking this healing journey together. Now, just breathe, up and down, in and out. You are holding them, and the night is holding you both. The seed is finally feeling the warmth of the sun. Sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the most comforting, unshakable sleep as you sit here on the soft, warm sand of the sheltered cove, holding the precious weight of your inner child against your chest. Notice how the night feels profoundly different. The frantic, buzzing energy of the waking world has completely faded away. You are no longer divided. In the quiet safety of your mind's eye, imagine that tiny, exhausted child slowly dissolving into a pure, warm, golden light. Feel that light sinking directly into your heart center. You are not two separate beings anymore. You are one. You are finally coming back together. Look up at the sky above the calm water. The silver moon is full and heavy, casting its brilliant, luminous glow over the dark, sleeping ocean. I want you to think about the moon for a moment. We love the moon when it is full and perfectly round, but the moon is equally beautiful when it is just a tiny, fragile crescent, or when it is completely hidden from our view in the darkness of a new moon phase. During those quiet phases, the moon does not apologize for its missing pieces. It does not stress about being incomplete. It knows a fundamental, unshakable truth. Whether it is bathed entirely in bright light or shrouded deeply in dark shadow, the sphere of the moon itself is always completely, undeniably whole. For your entire life, your ego has been chasing an impossible, exhausting illusion. It has been chasing perfection. From the time you were very young, you were handed a script that told you healing means becoming a flawless version of yourself. You thought that if you read enough books, practice enough discipline, and worked hard enough on your character, you would eventually reach a magical state where you never felt anxious, never felt angry, and never felt afraid. You believed that one day you would polish yourself into a perfectly smooth, unblemished stone, and only then would you be worthy of true love and lasting peace. But Carl Jung taught us something deeply liberating. He taught us that the goal of the human journey is not perfection. The ultimate goal is wholeness. Perfection is a sterile, artificial construct of the ego. It requires you to constantly cut away parts of yourself, to hide your shadow, to silence your inner child, and to pretend you do not feel pain. Perfection demands that you live in a constant vibration of lack, always chasing a finish line that moves every time you get close. Wholeness, on the other hand, is the magnificent, messy, beautiful acceptance of everything that you are. Jung wrote that the self is a union of opposites, par excellence. Wholeness means returning to the center of the self where all the fragments inside you are seen and reunited. It is the profound realization that you do not need to amputate your human reactions to be a spiritual, grounded, and deeply lovable person. The self embraces both the light and the darkness within you. Let me tell you about a woman named Daniela. Daniela was on a relentless, exhausting quest for emotional perfection. Whenever she met someone new, she would feel excitement, but then let anxiety take over. She would begin analyzing every message, waiting for positive reactions to feel safe. And when that anxiety arose, she judged herself harshly. She thought, I shouldn't be feeling this. I need to fix this before they notice. She spent hours trying to force herself to feel perfectly peaceful, trying to present a flawless, unbothered persona to the world. But this pursuit of perfection left her feeling entirely exhausted. She was vibrating with a lack of her own self-acceptance. One day, Daniela realized she was waging a war against her own humanity. She made a decision of radical stillness. The next time anxiety rose in her chest, she didn't try to fix it. She didn't withdraw from life. She withdrew from reaction. She stopped chasing connection, stopped strategizing, and simply practiced presence in her body, breath, heartbeat, and silent space, without forcing herself to feel better. She allowed herself to be a messy, beautifully imperfect human being. And from that clarity, the connections that came to her no longer repeated old scripts. No tension, no struggle, because she was no longer attracted by lack, but by a magnetic field of grounded presence. She didn't become perfect. She simply became whole. Lying here now, with the gentle sound of the water lapping against the shore, I want you to completely release the heavy, suffocating need to be perfect. Let it drain out of your physical body. Notice how your breathing deepens the exact second you stop trying to edit your own soul. Up and down, in and out. You do not have to have it all figured out. You are allowed to have days where you feel lost. You're allowed to feel fear. You're allowed to make mistakes. These things do not mean you are unhealed. They mean you are human. Think of a beautiful ancient mosaic. If you look very closely at the individual pieces of glass and stone, many of them are jagged, uneven, and broken. But when you step back, those broken pieces come together to form a breathtaking masterpiece. Your life, your soul, is that exact same mosaic. Your wounds, your shadows, your triumphs, and your joys. They all belong. None of it needs to be thrown away. Feel the immense physical relief of dropping the burden of perfection. Feel your shoulders sinking deeper into the soft sand. You are already everything you need to be. If you are ready to stop striving for an impossible ideal and finally embrace the beautiful, unbroken totality of who you are, simply whisper the word whole into the quiet starlit night. Let it echo gently in the peaceful cove of your mind. If you wish to anchor this profound acceptance, leave the word whole in the space below, and subscribe to keep resting in this unbroken truth with us. Now sink deeper into the warmth of the sand. The moon is watching over you. You are completely, wonderfully whole. To sleep, as you lie here resting deeply on the soft, white sand of this beautiful moonlit cove, I want you to feel the profound stillness of the night. You are completely whole. The fragmented pieces of your soul have returned to you, and the heavy armor of perfection has been left far behind. Feel the gentle, rhythmic rise and fall of your chest, up and down, in and out. The air is so cool, so incredibly pure. In the waking world, we spend so much of our precious energy waiting. We wait for someone else to validate us. We wait for a boss to tell us we have done enough. We wait for a partner to tell us we are lovable. But most of all, we wait for permission. We wait for the world to give us permission to finally rest, permission to feel our own feelings, permission to just be. But the universe does not grant permission. It only responds to the permission you grant yourself. So tonight, in the absolute safety of this midnight sanctuary, we are going to perform a quiet, sacred ritual. We are going to hand the pen back to you. I want you to let my words become your words. Let them sink deep into your unconscious mind, rewiring the old scripts that kept you small, tired, and afraid. Listen to the rhythm of the water lapping against the shore, up and down, in and out. You have permission to be tired. You have permission to be profoundly, unapologetically exhausted. You do not need to earn your rest by pushing yourself to the absolute breaking point. You do not need to justify your need for sleep. You are allowed to simply lay your heavy head on this pillow and let go of the entire day. You have permission to take off the mask. You have permission to stop being the strong one for everyone else. You have permission to let people see that you are human, that you have limits, that your shoulders are aching from carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. You are allowed to put that heavy burden down right now, in the dark where no one is watching. You have permission to say no. You have permission to let no be a complete sentence without a long, anxious explanation, without the heavy guilt that usually follows it. You have permission to protect your precious, vital energy. If a situation, a place, or a person feels draining, if your heart quietly whispers that a space is no longer safe for your soul, you have permission to walk away. You have permission to let go of the people who cannot meet you in your wholeness. As Jung reminds us, sometimes the people who exhaust you the most are not your enemies, but simply unconscious mirrors, reflecting the parts of yourself you haven't yet faced. But you have permission to withdraw those expectations. You have permission to save your beautiful, magnetic presence for those who truly deserve it. For those who do not require you to beg for their love or shrink your light. You have permission to not have it all figured out. You have permission to be in the middle of a messy, confusing chapter. You have permission to float in the dark waters of the night sea journey without frantically searching for the shore. You do not need to have a 5-year plan tonight. You do not need to solve the puzzle of your life before morning. You only need to know how to take the very next breath. In and out. You have permission to be imperfect. You have permission to feel angry, to feel sad, to feel entirely lost. You have permission to let your shadow exist without trying to fix it, amputate it, or hide it in the basement of your mind. You are allowed to be a breathtakingly beautiful, complicated, unfinished masterpiece. Notice how your physical body responds to this ritual. Every single time you grant yourself permission, a tight knot in your muscles dissolves. Your jaw softens just a little more. Your hands, resting by your sides, become completely open and empty. The heavy, suffocating energy of lack, the energy of constant restriction, is melting away into the warm sand beneath you. You are taking your power back. You are unhooking yourself from the endless demands of the ego and settling into the quiet, unbothered truth of the soul. If you are truly ready to take the pen and write your own permission slip tonight, simply whisper the word allow into the quiet space of your room. Let the vibration of that word settle deep into your bones, programming your unconscious mind for profound freedom. If you wish to anchor this newfound liberation, leave the word allow with us in the space below, and subscribe to keep honoring this gentle truth with us every night. Now, sink even deeper into the mattress. The water is singing a slow lullaby. The moon is holding you in its light. You are permitted to do absolutely nothing. You are permitted to just rest. Drift deeper and deeper and deeper into an liberating sleep. As you lie here fully wrapped in the profound permission you have just given yourself, notice how the boundaries between your waking mind and your sleeping mind are beginning to beautifully blur. The heavy, conscious thoughts of the day are scattering like soft mist over the midnight ocean. The little wooden boat rests safely on the white sand of the quiet cove. You have arrived, and now, as your physical body sinks into the absolute heaviest, deepest state of physical rest, a magnificent shift is happening inside you. In our modern waking world, we tend to think of sleep as a simple pause, We think of it as turning off a machine, a blank space of nothingness between today and tomorrow. We believe that when our eyes close, the work of life stops. But Carl Jung knew that this could not be further from the truth. He understood that the moment the exhausted, controlling ego finally steps aside and surrenders to sleep, the true, profound work of the deep psyche begins. The dark of the night is not an empty void. It is a bustling, miraculous workshop of the soul. Think of your waking mind, your ego, as a gardener who has been working frantically all day under the hot sun. The gardener has been obsessively pruning every branch, trying to force the flowers to grow faster, trying to control every single blade of grass, completely exhausted by the effort of managing the persona and keeping the shadows at bay. But now the sun is set. The gardener has finally laid down their heavy tools and gone to rest. This is the exact moment when the silent, invisible night shift takes over. Right now, as you listen to the steady, rhythmic sound of your own breathing up and down, in and out, your unconscious mind is wide awake, and it is working exclusively for your highest good. Jung taught us that the unconscious is not just a dark basement where we hide our fears. It is a vast, ancient reservoir of immense wisdom and healing power. Tonight, it is gently walking through the quiet library of your psyche. It is looking at all the old, outdated structures you have carried for so long. It sees the beliefs that told you that you were not enough. It sees the frantic, nervous wiring of the ego that convinced you to chase, to beg, to control outcomes. It sees the massive defensive walls you built to protect your inner child from a world you thought was unsafe. Because you have dropped the rope, because you have surrendered the oars and given yourself permission to be entirely whole, your unconscious mind finally has the space to do its sacred work. It does not need you to direct it. It is beginning to systematically rewire your mind. Imagine this profound process happening right now, deep inside your physical body. Visualize the old, exhausted neural pathways of anxiety, lack, and overthinking. In your mind's eye, they look like brittle, dry branches, stiff and fragile from years of overuse. Every time you used to panic about a delayed text message, or overanalyze a simple conversation, or judge your own shadow, your vital energy would frantically rush down those dry branches. But tonight, the unconscious is gently, lovingly pruning them away. You do not have to figure out how to do this. You do not have to read a manual on how to heal. You simply have to sleep. The deep mind is sweeping away the dead leaves of your old self. It is clearing out the debris of the persona. It is dismantling the exhausting traps of projection. And in their place, something incredibly beautiful is forming. Imagine soft, glowing, golden threads of light beginning to weave themselves together deep within your brain and your heart. These are the new pathways of wholeness. These are the smooth, untroubled pathways of magnetic presence, of inherent self-worth, and of profound, unshakable peace. With every single breath you take, these golden threads grow stronger, thicker, and brighter. Your mind is building a brand new architecture in the dark. It is creating a structure that no longer demands validation from the outside world. It is weaving a nervous system that does not panic in the face of silence, but instead rests entirely in the quiet certainty of the soul. Up and down, in and out. Feel the literal rewiring of your being. Feel the soothing coolness spreading through your mind as the old, overheated engines of anxiety are finally, permanently shut down. When you wake up tomorrow, or the next day, or a week from now, you might notice something miraculous. A situation that used to trigger a massive wave of panic will happen. And instead of reacting, you will simply observe it. A silence from someone you care about will stretch out. And instead of frantically trying to fill it with begging energy, you will feel a deeply grounded sense of calm. You will find yourself pausing, breathing, and resting in your own undeniable power. This will not happen because you forced yourself to be strong. It will not happen because you memorized a new psychological trick. It will happen because tonight, in the safe, velvet darkness, you got out of your own way. You allowed your mind to be completely rewired. You are literally healing while you sleep. The deep psyche is integrating your shadow, comforting your inner child, and establishing the pure vibration of wholeness in every single cell of your physical body. All you have to do is surrender to the heavy, comforting weight of the blankets covering you. If you are ready to let the deep, ancient wisdom of the unconscious take over completely, if you are ready to release the need to consciously heal and simply allow the rewiring to happen in the dark, I invite you to gently whisper the word renew into the quiet space of your room. Let the vibration of that word be the final trusting instruction you give to the night shift of your soul. If you wish to physically mark this beautiful surrender, leave the word renew in the space below and subscribe to keep returning to this midnight workshop of transformation with us. Now, there is absolutely nothing left for the waking mind to do. The permission has been granted, the old self has dissolved, the new golden pathways are glowing brightly in the dark. Let the ocean sing you its slow ancient lullaby, up and down, in and out. Sink deeper into the mattress, drift further into the stars. Let the mind rewire, let the soul rest. Sleep now, deep and completely transformed. As you rest here, suspended in this deeply healing space between waking and sleeping, I want you to feel the magnificent weight of the peace you have cultivated tonight. The golden threads of your new neural pathways are glowing softly, securely weaving themselves into the very fabric of your being. You have completely handed over the heavy tools of the conscious mind. The exhausted, overthinking ego is finally asleep, and the profound, ancient wisdom of your deep psyche is safely at the wheel. Notice how incredibly still the little wooden boat has become. The midnight sea is perfectly calm, holding you with an unwavering, unconditional support. Up and down, in and out. Every single breath you take is a quiet celebration of your return to yourself. For so long, you walked through the waking world feeling like you had to carry it all alone. You felt the immense pressure to perform, to fix, to chase, and to prove your worth to a world that always seemed to demand more. But tonight, you did something incredibly brave. You stopped running. You turned around, walked into the dark, and sat down with your own soul. Because of this courage, because of your willingness to look into the mirror of the night sea, I want to call you something very special tonight. I want to call you my fellow Jungians. Being a fellow Jungian does not mean you have to be a psychologist. It does not mean you need to read heavy academic books or understand complex clinical terms. To be a fellow Jungian simply means that you are a brave explorer of the deep, uncharted waters of your own inner world. It means you are someone who refuses to live a shallow, disconnected life. It means you are someone who has realized that true peace does not come from controlling the outside world, but from bravely integrating the universe within. Most of the waking world spends their entire lives running terrified from their own shadows. They exhaust themselves trying to present a flawless, shiny persona. They banish their inner child to the basement and then wonder why they feel so empty, so drained, and so anxious. But not you. Not tonight. You, my fellow Jungian, chose to open the door. You invited the messy, the tired, and the angry parts of yourself to sit in the boat with you. You looked at your unhealed wounds not as punishments, but as messengers. You chose the beautiful, complicated reality of wholeness over the sterile, impossible illusion of perfection. Because you made this choice, your energy field is completely transformed. The frantic, begging vibration of lack, the silent signal that pushed the things you wanted away, has completely dissolved into the dark water. You're no longer transmitting a desperate need to be chosen. You are no longer waiting for the outside world to grant you permission to exist. You have remembered that you are the pearl at the bottom of the sea. You are the unbroken moon. You are magnetically, undeniably whole. And from this place of grounded, magnetic presence, everything that is truly meant for you will effortlessly find its way to your shores. As our time in this conscious, guided space begins to gently draw to a close and before you cross over completely into the deepest, most silent realms of sleep, I want to invite you to do one final, quiet act of integration. In psychology, we know that the unconscious mind loves a symbol. It loves a physical marker to seal a profound internal shift. It needs a signature on the contract you have just made with your own soul. I want you to search your heart right now and find one single word that represents the psychological shift you have chosen tonight. Just one word. It might be whole. It might be present. It might be worthy, safe, surrender, or trust. Find that word and let it float up to the surface of your mind. Whisper it silently to yourself. Feel the shape of it. Feel the vibration of it settling deep into your chest, locking in the magnificent rewiring that is happening inside you. If you are ready to make this commitment permanent, if you want to leave a physical anchor in the waking world before you drift entirely into the sleeping world, I invite you to leave that single word with us in the space below. Let the comments section of this journey become a quiet, sacred testament to all the fellow Jungians who chose to stop chasing and start healing tonight. By typing that word, by leaving it here with us, you are telling the universe that you are no longer operating from a place of lack. You are marking your territory in the realm of wholeness. And while you are there, subscribe to this sanctuary so we can continue to walk this deep, rewarding path together, night after night. Now, let the word echo softly in the vast, empty space of your mind. Your commitment is made. The seal is set. The universe has heard your quiet declaration. There's nothing left to plan, nothing left to analyze, and absolutely nothing left to force. The deep current of synchronicity has you. The warm sand is holding you. The golden threads are holding you. Breathe in the cool midnight air, up and down, in and out. You are safe, you are whole, and you are ready. Drift now, fellow Jungian. Sink deeper and deeper into the quiet. As you drift now, so far away from the noisy shores of the waking world, the word you chose just moments ago, that beautiful quiet anchor of your intention, is glowing softly in the very center of your chest. Imagine it as a warm golden ember. With every single breath you take, that ember pulses with a gentle, steady, comforting light. It does not need you to add any fuel. It does not need you to stoke the fire or worry about it fading. It simply burns with the eternal, unshakable energy of your own authentic soul. Up and down, in and out, the heavy, conscious mind has finally completely let go. The ego has stepped down from its exhausting watchtower. The gates of the waking world are firmly closed. The night shift of your deep psyche has fully, beautifully taken over. I want you to bring your awareness, for one last, fleeting time, back to the physical space immediately around you. Notice the darkness of your room, but do not look at it as an empty space or a terrifying void. In these deep, restorative hours of the night, the darkness is not an absence of light. The darkness is a tangible presence. It is a thick, seamlessly woven blanket of absolute safety. Imagine this darkness physically wrapping around your body, drawing close to your skin like a thick velvet cocoon. It is holding you tightly, holding you securely, keeping the demands, the emails, the conversations, and the pressures of tomorrow safely locked outside your door. Inside this impenetrable cocoon, you are completely, undeniably untouchable. You do not belong to your job right now. You do not belong to your family right now. You do not belong to the heavy expectations of the outside world. For these next few hours, you belong only to the deep, silent, ancient rhythms of your own healing. Feel the physical weight of your body surrendering completely to the pull of gravity. Let's take one final journey through your physical vessel. Your feet and ankles are completely heavy, sinking so deeply into the mattress that they feel like they are melting. Your legs are relaxed, entirely devoid of tension, heavy and warm. Your hips and your lower back melt into the welcoming softness of the bed beneath you, releasing any lingering need to brace yourself against the world. Your stomach rises and falls, a perfect, slow, rhythmic metronome of peace. Up and down. In and out. Your chest is wide open and completely relaxed. Your shoulders, which have carried so much for so long, have dropped their burdens entirely. They are sinking deeper, deeper, deeper. Your arms are heavy logs of wood resting by your sides. Your hands are open, fingers loosely curled, grasping at absolutely nothing. Your neck is perfectly supported. Your jaw is incredibly soft, falling open just a fraction. The tiny, overworked muscles around your eyes and across your forehead are completely smoothed out. You are floating in a beautiful, quiet void. As Carl Jung so wisely reminded us, the profound work of understanding and healing ourselves does not stop when we close our eyes. In fact, it is only just beginning. It continues effortlessly in sleep, where the vast ancient unconscious speaks in the beautiful, mysterious, and unfiltered language of dreams. As you drift across the final threshold into sleep tonight, let every idea, every concept, every metaphor, and every word we have shared simply settle into the deep, dark waters of your mind like heavy stones sinking to the ocean floor. There is absolutely no need to hold on to them. There's no need to try and memorize them or remember them in the morning. Your deep psyche has already absorbed exactly what it needs to heal. You can simply allow yourself to sink completely and unconditionally into rest, trusting with your whole heart that your soul does its most magnificent transformative work in the darkness, just as much as it does in the light. Tonight, you are stepping out of an old, exhausted, restrictive shell. You are leaving behind the heavy, frantic vibration of lack. You are leaving behind the desperate need to chase connections, to control outcomes, and to present a flawless persona to a world that only ever needed you to be real. As you sleep tonight, your mind is rewiring itself. You are effortlessly becoming a stronger, more honest, vastly more grounded, and infinitely freer version of yourself. The night sea is carrying you now. You do not need the oars. The invisible, powerful current of synchronicity has you safely in its flow, guiding you exactly where you need to be. The silver moon is watching over the quiet cove. The golden threads of your newly integrated mind are pulsing softly in the dark. If this quiet journey has brought you peace tonight, know that this sanctuary will always be here, waiting for your return. Subscribe to keep the safe harbor near, and walk this path with us again whenever the waking world feels too loud, too heavy, or too demanding. More explorations into the deep, quiet, healing wisdom of the soul are always waiting for you here. Each one is a dedicated, loving companion for your nights of rest, reflection, and profound transformation. Thank you for being so incredibly brave tonight. Thank you for spending this precious time exploring the vast, beautiful, uncharted waters of your inner world. You are a masterpiece in progress, a union of light and shadow, and you are already, inherently, entirely whole. May your sleep tonight be profoundly deep. May your dreams be gentle, revealing, and kind. May your unconscious mind heal every tired corner of your physical and emotional body while you rest. And when the sun finally rises tomorrow, filtering softly through your window, may your awakening be incredibly gentle. There is nothing left to do. The journey is complete. You're entirely safe. Rest now. Let go of the very last thread of awareness. Drift completely into the beautiful, welcoming dark until we meet again, my fellow Jungian. Sleep well and good night.